In this video, we're going to look at how we can maximize the efficiency of using our paragraph and character styles by using nested styles to apply to text that is consistently formatted. Character styles apply to only certain characters, whereas paragraph styles apply to whole paragraphs. So character styles are needed when more than one style is applied within a single paragraph. In most cases, character styles are applied manually and selectively to text that styling is needed for. In instances where this styling is consistently repeated, it can be more efficient to nest the character style into our paragraph style. We're going to look at this today in 3 different options based on how we control where each style is applied. In our first example here, we have a list of cleaning products. We're going to go ahead and first style some of our text, save the styles, and then set up our nested styles. To get started, I'm first going to create my paragraph style that I want to apply to this text. To get started, I'm going to go ahead and format the first paragraph that I want to work with. In this case, I've decided that I want to use a medium weight sans serif font for this listing of products. I'm going to choose my font. I have my font list filtered to filter by sans serif. I also have it filtered by Adobe fonts. So all of these fonts should be available for you to use. If you're following along, any medium weight sans serif would be acceptable to use for this example. Here I'm using Elsa, and I will set this to a medium weight. Additionally, with this being a list, I would like to have a little bit of separation between each item, so I'm going to switch to my paragraph panel and apply a little bit of space after. I want to use 0.125 inches worth of space after. That's decimal point 125. And we see that this applies a little bit of paragraph spacing between paragraphs without any additional paragraph markers being in place. With these settings applied, I'm going to go ahead and click in here, click in my paragraph styles panel, and Alt or Option click the new style button to launch the dialog box. Here, I'm going to go ahead and name my style Product List. And I can see in my basic paragraph formats, in my indents and spacing, that the attributes applied to my text on the page have been picked up and saved into the style. Here I'm going to go ahead and click OK to save the style. Next, I'm going to go ahead and format the text that I'll use to create my character style. I would like the product name leading into the colon before the description to be styled differently so that it stands out for good hierarchy and makes it easy to scan the list for item names to then decide what description may need to be read. Go ahead and select my text here. I'm going to format this text to use all caps, but using as the style, not the option for change case. With character selected in my control panel, I'm going to click the styling button for all caps. The benefit of using this styling button for all caps is that it can be saved into styles, whereas changing case of a font cannot be. I also want to style this text to use a bolder weight of the font and a text color of red. In my font style options, I'm going to drop down. I'm going to choose bold, and I'm changing my character color to red. Now I have a nice design for my product listing where the product name stands out very clearly, and then the description is simpler and easier to read. But since these styles are applied with 2 different sets of formatting within the same paragraph, I will need to create this as a character style to be applied. If I created this as a paragraph style, when I apply it, my entire paragraph would become bold, all caps, and red, when I only want this to be applied to the first words identifying the product item leading into the description. To save this as a character style, with my text selected, I'm going to click into my Character Styles panel and Alt or Option click on the Add Create Style button. We are going to call this style Bold Red Caps. It's always good to use meaningful names when you're creating your styles. You can use a traditional hierarchy like in Web, H1, H2, etc. Or when working with other documents, either identifying the style name by what it will be applied to, or what it you can name the style by what it is being applied to, headings, subheadings, body copy, captions, etc. Or you can describe the features that are saved in the style, like we have here, bold red caps. Using meaningful names will be helpful when applying text styles, as well as particularly here where we're going to use nested styles. Since we now have a paragraph style and we have a character style, we can go ahead and create our nested style so that we can apply this to our text quickly and easily with only applying one style instead of having to manually apply the character style to all of our instances of products here. To nest a character style into a paragraph style, we'll go into the paragraph style that we want to use for our paragraphs. In this case, we're going to use the product list. To edit the style, find it in your list, right-click, and say Edit. It is recommended to right-click on a style to edit it so that you avoid accidentally applying the style to any text that may be selected on your page. With my paragraph style options box open, I'm going to come to the drop caps and nested styles. This is part of our styles box where you could also work to create drop caps where you would say how many lines down and how many characters across you want to apply a drop caps to. However, the nested styles feature is the very useful feature that we're going to explore here. With nested styles, we have to tell our paragraph style where we want character styles to be applied, where we want them to stop being applied, and where maybe other styles may need to be applied. So we're going to program inside of this paragraph style where character styles are being applied. It's important to note that you have to be able to program within the style where this starts and stops. So it's important that you're creating nested paragraph styles for text that is consistently formatted. In this case, all of our text consistently leads in with a product name, the product item, and it concludes with a colon. So each of my examples has the product name and then a colon. This gives us a perfect marker to program within the style where our character style should stop being applied. To create this nested style, I'm going to click the New Nested Style button. I have my drop-down list here. This is a drop-down list of all of my character styles that I have. So I'm going to use the bold red caps that we just created. I have the option to tell it through however many and what markers. So I have the option, if I click here, it becomes a drop-down. I have the choice of through or up to. In this case, I am going to use through, and I want one. I can't use one word or a number of words because each of these titles has a different number of words. This has two, but this has 4. So if I tell it to apply the bold red caps through 2 words, this item for tile and grout cleaner would not be correctly applied with the character style. Since I do have a consistent marker here with the colon, that's what I'm going to use. I do have a drop-down list of default markers we can use for these styles, but I can also select in here and just type in the character that I want to use. So I'm actually going to type a colon. So it is going to apply the bold red caps through 1 colon. Then it's going to stop applying the style and then just default back to the product list paragraph style. Note that if I change this option for through to up to, it would style in bold caps red the name of the product, but not the colon itself. So it's important to note and pay attention to whether you want the marker that you're using to tell it where to apply the style. If you want the style to be applied to that marker, then use through. If you want it to stop just before that marker, then use up to. So I'm going to change that back to through. I'm going to click OK to save these changes. Now I can select all of my text, and I'm going to right-click on Product List and say Apply Product List Clear Overrides. Now I can see that in basically 1 click, I have styled all of these paragraphs of text to use consistent styling of the paragraph style with the nested character style, and the nested character style did not have to be applied manually in this list. While we have a short list here, imagine if this was a product catalog and you had pages and pages of these listings. It is much, much more efficient to be able to select all the text and quickly and efficiently apply our styles. We're going to look at a next example of ways that we can program using our markers different options for character and paragraph styles. In this example, we have a social media listing. So a person's name as well as their social media handle. Because these handles consistently use the @ symbol to begin the name of the handle, this gives us a fun opportunity to style this text using nested styles where we can apply 2 different formats to the same paragraph quickly and easily. To get started, we'll set up our paragraph style first. We're going to select the first line of text and apply a regular weight serif font style. I want this to be set at 15-point size and 20-point leading. Here, again, my list is filtered by Adobe Fonts. I'm going to change my filter from sans serif to serif. I've really been liking this Abril font. It's been very popular here recently and trending. So I'm going to use the regular weight. I'm going to set my text size to be 20 point. And also to use I want that to be 15 point on 20 point leading. So I want to have a little extra leading to this than the default value that was closer to 18. I'm going to go ahead in my paragraph styles menu and alt click to create this as my paragraph style for social listing. Next, we'll create a character style to apply to the social handle. Beginning with the @ symbol, I'm going to apply an italics posture to this font.